Yo, how you doing? I'm Troy. This is TM Fitness. So I've got something on the board behind me here that I'm going to show you and talk through in a moment. This is relating to metabolism and health as well. So I want you to understand that this isn't necessarily relating to weight loss, but that is part of this discussion. So it's often cited that as you get older, your metabolism slows down, and I think the statistic is something like, the typical person between the age of 25 and 50 gains around 25 pounds as their metabolism slows down. What's actually happening there is as you get older, you become more sedentary or less active. So yes, you can lose lean mass, which is muscle mass, bone density. Some of your organs can shrink, things like that. Blood volume reduces. So that will reduce your basal metabolic rate. But the reason those things are happening is because you're less active. Yes, anabolic resistance is a thing as you get older, particularly I think from about the age of 40 onwards. Anabolic resistance just merely means that the muscle protein synthesis response to eating protein is reduced, so you need to eat more protein to get the same effect. So those are some of the technical things. Let's talk about the practical stuff. What can you do to increase your metabolism? Well, you be more active. Exercise, ideally do some resistance training to maintain or build muscle and bone density, but be more active and just general activity. Like if you work a job and you're sat at a desk for 8 hours a day, you're extremely sedentary. Now, there's a ton of science that shows that sedentary living and sitting for long periods of time is extremely deleterious for your health. All-cause mortality rate, all your health markers can be negatively impacted by sedentary living. The good news is that the more active you are, the better you can influence that. So even just walking for 30 minutes a day, every day, can dramatically reduce your all markers for all-cause mortality across the board. So just getting up off your ass and moving around. Now, so one of the things that I tell my clients who are in this sort of situation is to take movement snacks. Set a timer to go off every hour, every 2 hours, to remind you to get up and just do a minute of activity. Like imagine you're at college or school and you're sat in a classroom for an hour, but then you have to get up and walk across the building to the next classroom to sit for another hour. When you're working in an office, that doesn't happen. You sat at a desk, or maybe you're working from home, you're sat at a desk and you just get focused on your work and you don't move for 8 hours. Except, maybe getting up to go to the toilet or make a cup of coffee or something. So set a timer to get up and do some activity, even if it's just a minute of jogging on the spot, having a little dance, doing some stretches, walking around your desk or walking around your home or whatever. But try and be more active throughout the day. Try and find time to go for walks before, during and after work if you can. If you can go for a walk on your lunch break, do that. If you can get to the gym or do some kind of exercise, that's preferable as well. So not just general activity like walking, but doing some exercise. But honestly, looking at the majority of the science, walking is the best and the simplest thing you can do. If you want to change your body composition, build or maintain muscle mass, then you must be doing some resistance training. But if you don't want to do those things, just get off your ass and go for a walk. So getting back to what I was saying about metabolism. So I've got this on the board. I hope you can see that okay. So these pyramids are your metabolism. So we've got here resting metabolic rate, which is about 65% of your total calories. NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity, which is about 20% of your metabolic rate for the day. Thermic effect of food, and exercise activity thermogenesis, which is always the lowest because that's the least amount of time. This is the one that you can affect the most. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's just your general movement. So these two pyramids, and these are just, I haven't really worked this out meticulously, these are just arbitrary numbers just to illustrate this point. But this pyramid is bigger than this pyramid, so this is why this person's, if this is the same person, let's assume that same weight, same height, but this person, this version of this person is less active, so their metabolism is lower, it's smaller. So what we've got here is somebody who burns around 2,500 calories a day because they get in about 10,000 steps a day and they do 30 minutes of exercise every day. So maybe they get home from work and they pick up a kettlebell and they do 30-minute circuit or something like that. Or maybe they cycle to and from work 15 minutes there and back or something like that. Now, this version of the person isn't doing that. So they're only getting 3,000 steps in and they're not doing any exercise. So whereas this person, same height and weight, but more active, is burning 2,500 calories a day, this one's only burning 1,600 calories a day. And as I say, those are only arbitrary numbers, but it's kind of, that shows what a big difference it can make just by being more active. So as you get older, your metabolism slows down because your activity slows down, and then the less active you are, the more you're going to lose lean body mass, and the further your resting metabolic rate is going to go down. So, as I say, the solution there is to create a habit of being more active. Get off your ass and do movement throughout the day. If you're really not capable of doing that in your work environment, if it's not practical at all, and you have to be sat at the desk for 8 hours or whatever, then make time to go for a walk in the morning, after work, on your lunch break, and then try and get some exercise in every day as well. If you're able to get more activity in, like I say, set a timer to go off every hour, spend a minute doing some kind of movement, stretching, walking, jogging, dancing, whatever, and then ideally get some exercise in at the end of the day as well. This is if you care about your health and your longevity. If you don't, carry on doing what you're doing, but you're going to get sick and you're going to get fat and you're not going to have a good quality of life. I want you to have a good quality of life. I want you to get the most out of life as you get older. Like me, I'm not saying this to brag or boast, and obviously my situation is different to a lot of people. I'm not necessarily desk bound all day long, but at my age, nearly 50 now, I'm as fit and lean as I've ever been. So your age isn't an excuse. It's all about the lifestyle. Sort the lifestyle out. Laters.